Woo! What is going on, YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yakrates, and this is it. Not it for the videos for today, but this is it. So this is Love and Marriage Huntsville season 4 reunion part 3. This is the last, and look, look. I told y'all I was gonna give it to y'all. Okay, y'all just gotta be patient with your boy. You know, like I said, life does happen. If I say I'm gonna give you something, I'm gonna give it to you. So the plan is y'all gonna get Potomac right after this, and then starting tomorrow, I'm going to pretty much attempt to like as much as I can give you like one Miami review a day until I get caught up, and then go on from there. I'm not sure about growing up hip hop. I just don't know if I have the bandwidth to give that, and then Love and Marriage DC starts in next week. No, the end of this week, right? Because it's Monday. Hold on, let me look at my computer. Come on, calendar. Yeah, Saturday. So that picks back up. So it's just a lot, and I'm not trying to have way too much on my plate that I cannot manage, especially with a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get done. Again, dealing with just certain family issues or whatnot. So yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and end this thing. So we pick up where we left off. And it was with Destiny saying how she has shot scenes and whatnot, and they just weren't being shown. And Kimmy is saying to Destiny, scenes not making it, you know, not making it to air has happened to everybody. And Destiny replies, I never said it didn't. I'm just answering his question. But one thing that I will say, and going back to something that I have said previously, is where with other shows, typically, if you have to make up, not really make up for stuff during the reunion, but it's the reunion where you have to be in as much as you can, because if you're not giving a whole lot, you may not come back. Because we saw that with Claudia on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like she had very little to say during the reunion. Like she talked on the parts that involved her, but there was nothing else. But then you would have a Cynthia where she'll say something here, or inject herself there, just to make sure that she's being heard, so it makes it look like she's really contributing a whole lot, right? But I don't feel that Kimmy really needed to say anything. Again, like, I'm not mad that she did. I just don't feel that she really needed to, but whatever. And then Marceau was just like, "Don't come for Kimmy," and Kimmy was like, "She can." We've all had scenes that they cut out. And Destiny says, "You know what? Next season, her boo will be on the show." So now we get Melody versus Destiny, and Melody says the turning point for them was the breakdown of their friendship. Mel, no, I'm sorry. The question was to Mel, what was the turning point slash the breakdown of their friendship? Mel says that she did an interview where, after there was some legal stuff going on, she claims that I was only there for a few minutes, and that wasn't accurate. And she says, where I'm at right now, I'm placing boundaries. And I pretty much just summed up what she was saying is, rather than give things energy, I move accordingly for my mental and my emotional. And what I mean by that is, if somebody does something and you see that there's an established pattern, rather than every time somebody does something, I'm going to continue to sit here and talk to you about it, and it's an argument, whatnot. Is I see you moving this way, cool, bet. I see how you moving, boundary. And every time you keep doing something, there's going to be another boundary and another boundary until you're pushed all the way over there, and I have nothing to do with you. And I'm going to limit the amount of access that you have to me. Get it, and I got it, and it's all for your mental and your emotional. I'm not going to give you too much. So Destiny says, what she's like, what she said sounds good. She feels that back when they were in LA is what messed them up, when Mel, was spying on her and Tisha and overheard their conversation. And she said, Mel, can you tell me what was said? And Mel says something. I don't remember what it was. And Desi says, "You won't play in my face." And Mel says, "I don't even talk to you, sweetie." That sweetie thing. Because again, you can say certain stuff, and if you have a certain rapport with a person, it's not an issue. Y'all ain't cool like that. So when she called her sweetie, and Kimmy did the whole face like, "Ooh," you knew what that was. Because no, I think it was Stormy that made the face, because when Destiny's calls Stormy sweetie, Stormy says, "I'm not a sweetie. My name is Stormy." So Melody knew what she was doing. And then Tisha kind of whispers to Marcel, then talking about, oh wait, Wait, what did I write here? Oh no. Tisha whispers, and then she's asked what she says. So then she had to say it aloud. She was like, "Somebody need a storyline," and it's like, Tisha, this has nothing to do with you. While you and Kiki was having y'all back and forth, Melody sat there and let y'all have y'all moment. Why can't you do the same? So does she really need a storyline, or do you need a storyline right now in this moment? And Tisha says when her and Destiny spoke, she told her to go talk to Melody because it was clear she was hurting. Mel doesn't believe it. And I'm 50-50 with it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, part of me does believe, but part of me doesn't. And Tisha said, I had love for you, though, but you've done things to me. You have a dark soul. She is the true definition of a devil in sheep's clothing. Now, everybody's just like, ooh, it would have hit differently had she used it right. A wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm just saying, like, just it's just sometimes when you try to make a dig, like shut up, y'all. Anyway, so Destiny, so question for Destiny: do you think Melody has a dark soul? Destiny says there are things that she does that are dark, i.e., Mel going on TV and saying that she gave me 6K to pay my light bill. Now, this is one of those where people can take several things that happen in a conversation and literally like just create one thing out of it when it's a partial truth. Because Mel says that she helped her in a time of need, and in the flashback, it shows Mel saying that, like, if I see you in a time of need, and she didn't say this, but if I got it, I'm going to help you. And then, to see that there was a utility notice on the door, that is all that I needed to know. So she did say that she gave her between $5,000 to $6,000, but she never itemized exactly what it was. But Destiny just, summed it up to, you gave me this on a light bill. It's one of those where I know you got a couple of months before they start shutting stuff off, but if anybody has a light bill that is $5,000 or $6,000, we have an issue, which we know that's not true. So it really seems like Destiny was trying to really like pad this to make it more than what it was. So then Mel said, no, wait, no, I said that. Da, 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 da. So then Mel is asked, do you feel Destiny was chumming it up with Martell? And Mel says she didn't know they were as close of friends as they were. So when I'm on the phone with you and you were, excuse me, and we're connecting over our soon to be exes and how mine is doing, why is she giving him all of this combo? She, and I'm gonna start there. So in essence, yes, Destiny has known Martell for however long. And just because you have known somebody for a long period of time does not necessarily mean that you are friends. And based off of things, Mel and Destiny actually had a friendship, even though Destiny knew Martell longer, but they did not have set friendship. So in Mel's eyes, okay, you my friend. Yeah, you've known my husband for however long, but we are friends. So if I'm sitting here and I'm confiding in you and doing all this, but then you're turning around and having convos with him about stuff that I've already said to you, and in addition to that, you know what he has put me through, that does come off as being kind of foul, shady, and all that other stuff. I do understand it. And then Mel throws out there, yeah, because she was recently calling him at like 1 and 5 in the morning. And I'm like, and Mel, now again, it could have been editing, but Mel had a smirk after it was said. It could have been editing. But that was one of those, like, you knew what you were doing, Melody. You knew exactly what you were doing. And Destiny says, oh, so was that when you hacked his phone? And Melody was like, I did not hack his, but mine was attempted to be hacked. And apparently, I guess somebody was calling Mel and somehow, no, somebody was calling Martell and somehow the phone conversation got forwarded to Mel or some stuff like that. I don't really know the ins and outs of that, so I really can't speak on it. And then Destiny says she doesn't want to reconcile with Mel, even though I feel that's complete utter bull because of like one of the last things they had on the show. But if this is true that she doesn't want to reconcile with Mel, it's probably because the next season is starting to look like, we're all going to take Mel down and it's going to be a hate Mel train going on next season. If that's the reason that she truly doesn't want to, but it seems like she really wanted to. So Stormy is asked about, what's going on between Mel and Destiny, and she says she doesn't know the ins and outs of their relationship, so she can't speak on it. But she says, her and Mel are good. So Martell tells her, to pretty much quit while you're ahead. Because look, the day gonna come when y'all ain't gonna be cool. And well, anyway, I don't know the specifics of what has happened between Mel and Stormy, and their friendship dissolving. I don't know the ins and outs of it because again, I haven't really been on social media like that and really dig. I really ain't been on YouTube like that, so I don't know. Y'all can let me know in the comments. But Martell says he knows how to forgive, and Mel says, "How can you be cool with people?" Because he's saying like, "I got friends up here and whatnot. Like I know how to forgive." You know, pretty much just saying like, "I can like." I got friends up here. You don't. It must be you. But she's like, how can you be cool with people who have, dogged you out, trashed you, have talked down on you, like all of this? Like, so people literally are up here assassinating your character, talking cash money about you. At the very beginning of reunion part one, you have Tisha sitting here, dot, 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 taking shots at him, but you cool with people like that. So now we get to the male versus Martell. And, Martell says his idea of co parenting is different. He doesn't want a man watching his children. And Mel's brother is brought up, and Martell says, he will understand if her brother watching his children if they grew up together, which for me that makes absolutely no sense, and even says that his sexual orientation has nothing to do with it, but he doesn't want any man, let alone 20 people watching his children. Mel says it's difficult to co-parent given the person that he is, and says that he has filed a custody change and is constantly saying there's 20 something people watching the kids when that isn't true. And she says when the time is right, she'll expose everything with receipts as she normally does. And I feel what she is saying is when we finally take this matter to court and it's all being handled there is when I'll bring out everything then. And then after that, everybody else will see it. So she's playing chess. Get it. Um, Carlos asked Martell, is it fair to ask for full custody? And he says, if she can't do shared custody, then there is no other way. And even alluded to her not being able to spend all this time with the kids. And okay, I mean, I hear that, but I mean, most courts are not going to, remove the children from the primary custody of the woman unless there is reasons to why she is unfit. And at the same exact time, she technically is the breadwinner. Like the lifestyle is over there with her, and if she's not mistreating the children, if they're not malnourished and all this other stuff, and she doesn't have any mental psychological issues, chance of him getting full custody slim to none. Okay, so then the Florida trip comes up, and Martell is asked about that, and he was like, I missed that. And Carlos says he feels, and Carlos gets showed that he says he feels that Martell is troubled inside and doesn't want to share this side of him. He's concerned about him because he feels one um, at one point he had a great heart and he is so angry that he has to put up this facade, which I hate to admit it, this is most men, primarily African American men. As I'm African American, I can speak on it, typically tends to be us. Like I'm saying, like we can apply that to a lot of us. And he thinks he's still in love with Melody. He is. And it's magic when the two of them are together and you have these outbursts because you're scared to be vulnerable, which I can see it. And again, that's a lot of men in general, don't want to show emotion. And he says, do you regret what happened? Martell says he does regret what he put her through. He misses the kids coming home to the both of them. And you can see his eyes are watering up, but he is fighting to not let a tear drop. Now, Mel is obviously emotional. And she's emotional over, the ending of, because of the relationship and the divorce and then the kids being involved. And she says she never thought that she would have kids with someone that she no longer likes or love. It's like that sometimes. Carlos feels when someone hold on wait. Oh, he feels that when some women come into their own, they have when I'm sorry, he says when some women come into their own and then they have this stardom, they forget about the men. And I hear what Carlos is saying, but at the same exact time, Carlos, what we not finna do is we not finna sit here and put all this on a woman. Because this whole building up a man's ego and making a man feel like a man and all this other stuff, that's just like saying that you need somebody else to make you whole. You need to be whole before you get into a relationship. You need to be secure within yourself and the relationship, that if the other person is starting to rise, you got to stand there and champion them. But no, what this really is, this is all rooted in how the patriarchy is in America, and I can only speak for America. That's why I stay, where way back when women were never meant to have education and all this other stuff, where their job was, especially in the farming areas, where you worked on the farm, and when you got married to somebody else, because you were help, that something had to be given to the father in the family, but you went over there and your whole purpose was starting a family, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of everything else. That is all that women were meant to do. And most men have that mentality of that is what they want. They want you to be, in the words of Erica De Niro Kelly, a mattress, a mule, and a maid. That is all that they want. But now we're at a time to where women don't have that, and women don't need to marry for security because women can have their own. So it's not for a woman to sit here and validate a man and sit here and continue to try to lift him up and whatnot. If you are that insecure and if you don't have it in yourself, then stay single. But I don't agree with that call. I really don't. I really don't. And now I got mad. Okay, y'all, bring it back. Bring it back. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Okay. And Mel says she held him down and did what she was supposed to do, as a woman, and nothing came, and as a wife, and nothing came between them. Like, they went on trips, they did this, they did that, and I appreciate Mel not taking that on. It's like, no, no, that had nothing to do with me. So then a question is there anything that you would do differently? And Mel says, I would have listened more. Not to say that I didn't listen, but I would have listened more. But I don't feel it would have changed. It would have been enough. So now we get Tiffy Lou. Couples therapy comes up. Tiffany says, she brought Lou to support Tisha in bringing Marceau, but she felt set up. She felt like Dr. Francis treated them as secondary. He knew nothing about them, but judged them because they chose to, prioritize work. I'm not going to give them a whole lot because, again, they coming in right now. I don't really care. And they were asked, how do you feel to be diagnosed as fate? Lou said, well, that came from Marceau, but Dr. Francis felt we took our marriage as a game. We have shown what we have to be true over this past year. And then the sexual frustration storyline comes up. He was like, it's real. And it's not like we weren't having sex for months at a time, but there would be weeks where we wouldn't. But, that isn't the case today. And we find out that Tiffany is 4 months pregnant. They're going to have a boy, and the child's name is going to be Ace. So now we get to Kimmy. And Kimmy is okay. She said it took her a minute to process everything and even to show this on the show. And she said her being married and being on the show helped her to keep moving and to stay ahead of things. And pretty much what it is like when it happened, she could have quit the show and whatnot and could have just been in the funk and really took her time to want to fight this. But because of her marriage and being on this show, it was that extra push to really try to get ahead of this and really fight this thing. She said in December she went for her annual, but then all this happened in June. She was like, and in general, you see how fast it's happened, but that cancer was pretty much fast, but they caught it very, very early. And she says that she has 7 weeks of chemo left, then surgery, and then she has 30 sessions of radiation. But regardless of the outcome, my situation will help somebody. And I love the positivity. And I've always say, we go through things in our lives, and more often than not, after we come, like once we conquer it, there is a memory for us to remember that if we start to see patterns of what happened before, we know how to deal with it. But sometimes after we've gotten over it, it's meant for us to tell somebody else because our story can better help somebody else because they're hearing it from somebody else like, okay, I'm not alone, and be like, okay, cool, got it, and being able to learn and glean from somebody else. So got it. Carlos shares that he lost his mom to cancer. She never went to the doctor, so I'm assuming she was diagnosed, but she didn't want to go through the chemo and the radiation and all that other stuff, and dealt with it in secret. And he knows that the majority of the people that watch the show are primarily African American women, and they needed this. And his mother used to watch the show, and she told him that he could share her story, because of what Kimmy was showing and the strength that Kimmy had. And he believes that she is going to change lives. And he then says that women should get an ultrasound after they get their mammogram because that's not mandatory. But I guess it was because she got the ultrasound that they were actually able to see it. So they're saying you go for a mammogram, also just go ahead and get the ultrasound. And pretty much with that, that was the end. That was a wrap up. Carlos thanks to Cass, and that is it. So thank you all so much for watching. I have one more video. It's Potomac, and I am done for today with the exception of the panel that is tonight. That will be on Simply Sakina's channel. So until the next time, if y'all don't watch Potomac, I will be doing Love Marriage DC starting Saturday. And if you don't watch that, well, damn it, when this come back, okay? But hopefully y'all enjoy the content, and I also have some other videos coming. So please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. Have a blessed week. Happy MLK Day, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.